The board of OpenAI, the Microsoft-backed maker of ChatGPT, firing former CEO Sam Altman, who is seen as the face of generative AI right now. Altman now joining Microsoft as head of its AI initiatives. Joining us now, Sam Lessin, co-founder and general partner at Slow Ventures. Sam, you've been following all the ins and outs of this. It is still unfolding, but give us the state of play right now and who you think who comes out as a winner and who comes out as a loser from the saga.
I mean, the answer is what a wild weekend. I mean, Satya, I think, and Microsoft clearly come out as winners. Brilliantly played by them in terms of where this is landing. Could have been really bad for landed this beautifully in a way that actually makes them the place for generative AI for the next period, which is really, I mean, well played on their part. Sam Altman, I think is left with a ton of option value in terms of where things go from here. He's going to have access to talent and hardware, importantly, for whatever he wants to do next in generative AI. And then OpenAI, big question mark in terms of where that organization goes. I mean, there's huge internal strife, clearly. I mean, clearly people will go with Sam. Clearly some people won't. But all in all, as you said, this is one of the most wild, if you like intrigue, this was the weekend.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue. Again, still playing out. But Sam, is it too early to call Satya Nadella and Microsoft and even Sam Altman the winners here? Do we know exactly what led to his ouster in the first place? Is there a desire among Silicon Valley to figure that out before singing Sam Altman's praises and saying that Microsoft played this brilliantly?
Look, at the end of the day, people don't know. And from a tabloid perspective, I mean, nothing could be tastier than figuring out what actually happened. And I think this will be a lot of fun for a lot of people from a purely tabloid standpoint for a long time to come. I mean, ultimately, the reality is we do need to see a report from someone about how this all transpired and what happened. I think there's some confidence or trust, at least in Satya, that he wouldn't have put this deal together if anything truly bad was happening.
But he didn't even know. He didn't have a...
It's true, and there's no question that Microsoft and he were shocked by how this all played out over the last many hours. This is what happens when you have a turducken organization of a for-profit wrapped in a non-profit. Let's not do that again. But I think the reality is that I at least have enough trust in Satya to have put up guardrails on the true extremes, of kind of what went down and how this played out. And I have enough trust in Sam and kind of what's going forward to say, we can debate about how far we are from AGI and the mission of OpenAI versus practicality or things like that.
What gives you that?
We'll go from there.
I just wonder what gives you that trust. What in Sam Altman's track record through Y Combinator, through other startups, what gives you that sort of trust when you don't know the details yet?
Well, again, I think it's not, we could look back on this and I could look very silly in a bit. But here would be my first things. First, I think, a friend of mine once said, we're about as close to AGI as a slide rule. And that's kind of my take on a lot of this stuff, which is people have a lot of theoretical concerns about AGI. But practically speaking, if this comes down to a safety question, I'm not super worried about, safety from a personal perspective anytime soon. And so, to the extent that it has anything to do with the speed of AI development being too fast for the safety goals of the OpenAI board, I personally am comfortable with that, and I'm comfortable with a narrative which is Sam was pushing too hard and too fast versus the nonprofits. If something else comes out, the new CEO of OpenAI, the second of the weekend, Emmett, who's a good guy, I know him from earlier tech days, has said that his first order of business is going to be to kind of do an investigation and put out a report of what actually happened. So I'm sure that will be hotly watched. Look, I could be wrong, but again, I do trust Satya as a leader, and I trust that while this was a crazy period, we're all going to look back and think Microsoft played it brilliantly, is my personal belief.